Hello, I'm Robin Foss, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about this Sunburst SnapFrame. Here you can see on the screen the Sunburst SnapFrame filled with photos. And I have a couple of sample pages as well. In this one, I filled the sunburst area with papers on both sides. And on this one, I filled it with decorative photos, kind of textural photos from my trip. And then I just filled the rest with scenic photos with an alpha set title in the middle. If we go back, just to remember that you can always add in additional photos or fill with paper any of the slots and use it for journaling and embellishments. So let's go into Artisan 6 and I'll show you how to create the page using the SnapFrame. It works best when you worked in the trim view with current binding. Okay, so we're going to go to the 2021 February Digital Cafe into the shapes area, and I'm going to create this shape. And actually I want my sunburst to go on the outside, so we can flip it and it can go out there. So I slide it up to the top left corner and you can see the alignment lines show up. Now I'm going to grab the bottom right corner and slide it over down to the bottom so the line shows up, and then when I go into the gutter, which is that kind of grayed out area in the right side of the page, I'm going to move it over until the portion of the frame that shows around the visible area is about the same width. So you can see this thickness is similar to that. So it's just eyeballing it, no exactness. I'm going to hit a 1-point stroke, and you don't have to put a stroke. I kind of like a little bit of something on there to give it some definition on the page. And then for now we're not going to fill it with anything. We're just going to leave it with this default blue and hit create and click away. You can kind of see, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, how that 1-point stroke gives it some definition. Okay, I'll hit save. I do like to add a light shadow, so I'll go to the Format tab, Light Shadow, and then we're going to go to the Insert tab, Photo section, Empty Frame, and then what I like to do is right click, go to Aspect Ratio and unlock. I have my elements default to lock upon adding to a page. If you haven't changed your settings, the default is to have it unlocked so that you can just do what I want to do and move things like this. But for everything else, I like to have it locked. Okay, so I'm just grabbing it and moving it to where I want it to be on the page, and then you can slide it behind your frame. You can kind of see it's going a little bit wide on the side. You can have a little bit over, that's fine. I just decided not to. And then I'm going to grab this bottom grab square and slide it down so it's below the line. Then I'm going to go to the Home tab, copy and paste. And then I can slide behind. Use the resizing handle there. Let's go ahead and copy and paste that because I have the right height. Now I just need to change the width. Slide behind. And sometimes it's hard to grab and move with the mouse, so if you need to, you can always use the arrows on your keyboard. And then to resize again, grab one of the squares. We'll hit save. Okay, so these are fairly easy to fill. Another option, rather than filling this with photo openings that you can put papers or photos in, you could add a rectangle to the page. And let's make that 12 by 12. And let's fill it with something like a paper. Let's use one of the papers from the kit. How about that? This one. Select. Your cutting board will pop up and you can resize and pick the portion of the paper that you want. There we go. I'm going to hit OK. And then no stroke, hit create. You can slide it behind and go behind the photo openings. And that's a quick and easy way to fill the sunburst with something of interest. But let's say that you wanted to have separate photo openings. You can do that. I'm going to give you another option though. Let's hit this. So you have the right height. We're going to go copy and paste. Slide behind. So this is a nice option if you wanted a photo but to have some kind of architectural element on top of it. So if I wanted a, let's see if I have a photo that would work. We'll just play. Let's see if this one does any good. It's up to you if you want to do that. I was thinking more like a sunset. I'm going to go to the photo tab and remove that photo. Okay. So I'm going to move that down and lock it and hide it. So now we're going to go ahead and add the individual photo openings to go in the holes here. So we're going to copy the photo again and hit paste. Slide behind. Using your SnapFrame as your guide. I'm going to resize down and then resize over. And let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see, let's try 100%. That might be too much. Nope, that'll work. Okay, so next we're going to go into editing the shape. Right now, the outside shape of this photo is a rectangle. So we're going to get rid of this point here and have it go down to this line. Okay? So right click, shape, edit shape. I'm going to hover over this spot here. It's turned purple, and then I'm going to hit delete. So now the frame is there. So if I go back to content, papers, I can fill it with the paper, no problem. I can fill it with a photo. So let's go to photo tab and remove, and we'll hit save. So copy and paste. Let's make it narrow. We want it, let's go behind. It's really helpful to be behind there. You can see what you're doing. So we want it kind of even with the top of the other photo frame. And then we're going to slide it out. You want this outside edge to be within the line between the two frames. Okay, we're going to go right click, shape, edit shape. I'm going to And I'm going to drag this point over here and down. I'll drag this one over just a little bit wider. And right click and delete. All right, that worked. You can hit paste again. Gonna line it up, drag it behind. Kind of get us as close as we can before we go into editing the shape. Right click, shape, edit shape. Okay, I'm going to click here to create a new point. Then I'm going to take this point and drag it over like we did before, making sure it's below the bottom tip and within the lines of the other line here. Then we're going to right click on this point and delete. And you can still edit more, so you can adjust this to make it fit better within the frame. And if you wanted to bring it in tighter, you can move this point up. That works good. All right, paste again. So really this is a good practice in playing around with editing shapes. Okay, so we are on this one here. Let's go ahead and edit shape. Grabbing this bottom left point. Bottom point on the right. We're going to delete this point. Then we'll bring this one down. It's very forgiving, so you can play around with it. Okay. Go ahead and save. Hit paste. Drag behind. Make it as wide as the frame. Let's go ahead and hit edit shape. Okay, so we're working on this one here, so I'm going to grab this point, go to there, this point, to the bottom, go ahead and delete this point, it's cutting a little close here, so I'm going to drag it out further and move it up. Okay, there we go. Okay, save. One last frame. Drag behind, slide it down, use my arrow keys to move it over, right click, shape, edit shape, right click, delete point, grab this bottom point, adjust, go up a little bit, there we go, and save. Alright, let's zoom back out. Let's go to our Pages panel. So now I want to make a 2-page spread. I'm going to click on this drop down button, insert a mirror page. it'll put the mirrored page before it. And then we just drag it back to the left. Go to View, Spreads, 2 bound pages. There we go. And then you can save it as a template and use it on other pages and not have to go through those steps again. And if you don't remember how to do that, I typically start on the right and I go File, Save As, Export Current Page. I go to where my pages are saved, Robin's Templates. And it would be good if I knew how many photo openings are in that. Let's cheat. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to call that Sunburst SnapFrame Right. Oops, 12 by 12. 9 PO for photo openings and right. And then we'll repeat the process on the left. Go File, Save As, Export Current Page. We can click on the one we just did and then just change it to L. Has the same number of photo openings. Alright, there you go. And that is how you work with the Sunburst SnapFrame. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.